start with Liverpool. We're going to obviously talk the Man United Chelsea game. We're going to speak about Arsenal and some other things this weekend. But why are Liverpool fans being so humble, Tom? Why are Liverpool fans playing down the idea that they're now marginal favourites? Why are you all going humble? Why is that, bruv?
Just the easiest thing to do, to go under the radar, have everyone else talk about an Arsenal versus City title race, and we just sneak in at the back end of it. Realistically, if you to ask Liverpool fans, honestly, we know we're there or thereabouts. This team was there or thereabouts last season, fell off after the last 6-7 games, which really, when you add context to it, what wasn't too horrendous. And this year, Arnie's slots come in and fixed a number of the key problems that we were having in terms of a systematic thing. Obviously, he didn't get signings, but I think the system change that we've made to be more defensively sound are worth an extra anywhere from 9 to 15 points a season, which is huge for us. So we're staying humble because it's easy to go under the radar, and nowadays in social media, you say anything remotely positive and then you don't win the next game, all of a sudden everyone's on your neck and it's this, that, or the other. So I understand why certain fans are being positive. It's also a little bit of a thing of not everyone, but a lot of people were predicting us to finish 4th or 5th or 6th, not even make top 4. We're going to be jumped by Tottenham. We're going to be jumped by Villa. You're going to be Nottingham now that Jurgen Klopp's gone. And we seem to have improved. So it's just a little bit of a stick it to those guys as well who wrote us off very early.
I get that. There's a comment here that says that it's because it would mean that Slot is better than Klopp. And I want to ask you this question on this, right? So I hear a lot of Liverpool fans say, if Slot wins it year 1, oh my God, what does it mean for Arteta? Fair question. What would it mean for Jurgen Klopp if he won it year 1?
It would mean that Klopp left us in a very good position, ultimately. But it's a very different thing to...
You're fine, we can hear you.
You're cutting out.
Tell kind of cut out.
Yeah, it was me. Just keep talking, bruv. Sorry, it's my internet. It's awful here.
Yeah. It would mean for Klopp that he left a very good squad to be built on. In terms of a legacy, I'm not going to compare Arnie Slot to Jurgen Klopp because of the teams that they took over and the work that was done to get to where they got to. Now, the last years of Klopp, there's a feeling of what could have been and what maybe should have been with some of the positions that we were in and didn't capitalise on. But ultimately, Arnie Slot took over a team that was on the cusp and ready to challenge for league titles and the top honours, and it just needed a little bit of fine-tuning and a little bit of work on the training ground. Jurgen Klopp took over a team that was 12th, and their best player of that season at that point had been Danny Ings. So, such different situations to be in. I don't think it would come down. People would start having a real debate about what it means for Jurgen Klopp and his legacy outside of the football club if Arnie Slot makes it 2 or 3 league titles in 4 or 5 years. But when it's just 1 for 1 and you look at the situations, plus Jurgen Klopp's got a Champions League as well, what Jurgen Klopp done to get us to that point and the position we were in beforehand, it's not comparable to what Arnie Slot's done.
I do agree, by the way. I'm just asking the question based on what the viewers said. I think it's a difficult one to do because again, what Klopp inherited versus what Slot inherited are 2 very, very different teams and situations. And you should be able to, take them on to that next level. It's not
Arnie Slot inherited Virgil van Dijk. Jurgen Klopp inherited Martin Skrtel.
No, exactly. There's another challenge here for you that says they want to downplay it. So if they don't win from here, they won't be called bottlers. Do you think there's an element of truth to that? Liverpool fans want to play it down so they're not called out if they don't win it. They want like an underdog story or not.
I mean, I think we've lost what the definition of bottling is. I don't think you can bottle something when you were 2 points clear with 28 games to go. That's not what a bottle job is. A bottle job is having 7 points clear with 5 games to go type thing. Not the situation that we're in now where we are just over 25% of the season and we're top by 2 points. That's not what a bottle job is. But I'm sure some fans are considered that. I'm not. It is what it is. I know what my expectation was this season. If we over-exceed that, brilliant. if we achieve that, brilliant. If we fail to achieve that at this point, then it will be quite disappointing because of the way we started. But I don't think that you can't call us bottlers if we don't win the league from this position when there's still over 60% of the season still to be played. That's not what a bottle job is. Why have we lost what the definition of bottling is? You call anything a bottle now?
It's going to be.
Sorry, go on, Sal. You speak, bro. Go on.
No, I'm just going to say, listen, it's the thing is, I don't think you can bottle anything at this moment in time. I do agree with that, man. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how Slot handles the December period to January period. You know, where it gets all hectic. There's literally like 3 Premier League games and everything.
Is it not being hectic though? And like, I'm not disagreeing, but we've
no. I know it's been hectic in regards to like weekends, and then you got Champions League, and then weekends and then Champions League. But I feel like there's been breaks due to international breaks. When it comes to December, I feel like it's just non-stop. There's the amount of games that they fit in December is actually nuts if you look at it compared to other leagues where they get winter breaks and stuff. I'm not sure whether they do that in the Eredivisie.
Yeah,
do they do winter breaks?
I think they do it in the Eredivisie. Yeah.
So it's going to be
how we do it here.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that. Now he's at a club where there's no winter break. He has to go through that whole thing. And
to be fair, I think there is a winter break in the Premier League. It just comes in January, so you've got to get through a month of playing two games a week, which is what I feel like the Christmas period. Yeah, it still carries a bit of weight, but it's lost the novelty of what it once was in England because it was the only real period of time where you were playing 2-3 times a week. Now, I mean, since the last international break, we've played every Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, whatever. Like we've had that same thing. So have Arsenal, so have City. Any team that's in the cup competitions up to this point have had that same schedule that we bemoan in December. I think why the December one gets the higher appraisal type thing is because that's when your likes of your Southamptons also get dragged into it. The teams that don't play European football then all of a sudden have to have a European football schedule of playing 2 times a week, 3 times a week type thing. So I don't think it's going to be as big a task.
Are you sure there's an international break or a winter break? Because I'm sure
there has been for a couple of years.
No. I think it got cancelled out now that the Champions League changed. I'm not sure. Someone might have to correct me. I think when the Champions League...
all I know is that we kind of... I think it's from January...
You have it, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. From January 5th to January 14th, we don't play. So it's not like a 3-week, 4-week thing like the Bundesliga, but it's 9 days, so you get a week off, basically. And your Champions League games don't resume until the back end of January. So I don't know whether there'll be an FA Cup game that goes in there, because I can't remember the scheduling for sure, but I do think we have a really bad version of a winter break.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting, really.
Nina, from your point of view, looking at looking at Liverpool, they've won. I think Slot's got the best start to a Liverpool season that any new manager has ever had. They're now top of the league by a couple of points. They either dominate and control games or they come from behind to pick up those points. Do you see them, maybe with City's injury problems, now looking like the favourites for the league title this year?
Yeah, I don't think that's mad to say. It's obviously early days, 10 games in, but I think in terms of passing the baton on to Arne Slot, I think arguably is sort of the best manner he could have inherited the squad. They still have that backbone of players like Van Dijk and Salah who kind of keep Liverpool ticking. And there's experience and there's the sort of the right balance of experience and sort of up and upcoming talent that I think Klopp deserves a lot of credit for. So he sort of passed it on to Slot in a very good way. And I think that is also credit to Slot to how he's managed to mould that, unfold that. And players like Gakpo who are stepping up, scoring goals, there's other players taking up responsibility. But it's early days. I think the fact that, Liverpool don't have any big injuries at the moment is also quite a big factor. I think a test for Slot would be how he manages and deals with that with the sort of bigger players that
we got no Allison.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there. But I mean like outfield players too. I think that would be a big test too. But it's early days, and I refuse to fall for the for the predictions of top 3 just yet.
What do you mean by that? Sorry, just to understand what you mean.
Oh no, I'm just saying that going into the season, I haven't said like a top 4. I haven't said who would win the league. So
You haven't done that. Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't done that. I haven't done that. And yeah.
Any particular reason why? You may have said this in other streams. I'm just not not familiar with why. I'd love
It's
to
been
know.
a thing since the start of the season. I think a big part of it, obviously, I am a Chelsea fan. I came into the season not knowing what to expect from us whatsoever. So I refrained from doing like a top 6 prediction, even though I did say I want Chelsea top 4. But yeah, I've not like laid it out. I've not said it out anywhere. So yeah, but again, I've said this. I think Liverpool have started out really great. I think the fact that City and Arsenal are struggling to sort of come from behind in games, I mean, particularly City, but Liverpool, even when going behind, are still managing to graft out results is a big advantage for them. But I think the fact that they came into the season not having the pressure like an Arsenal and maybe even a City, not so much, but you know, when you are winning the title as many years as you are, you still come into a season with high expectations. But Liverpool have kept it low key. I don't know why they are as humble as they think and as they want to be, but yeah, I think there's still a long way to go. But you know, we played them. That was tough. And the way that they can set up against teams differently, and also like Slot is quite a he's obviously implemented his style, but he's also not afraid to change things if something's not quite working. And I think that's a really good quality to have in a manager. Who every manager wants to have a stamp and their footprint on a team, but not to an extent where you're not willing to change things when they're going wrong in games. And I think the fact that he's willing to be flexible is a big advantage.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I think that's fair. I mean, not doing a top 6 prediction. I kind of like that. It keeps it. It'll be an ongoing thing for you for the rest of the season. People wanting to know, but I think listen. I have Liverpool as my marginal favourites right now, and I'm saying marginal, and I think it can change depending on. You know, beginning of the season, I think I said they'd come third. Now I think it's fair. I've looked at them over 10 games. This is still a brilliant squad that he inherited. This is a squad that has been rejuvenated by a new voice and a new manager. And it turns out what Klopp said was so true last year. He just lost his energy.
Yeah.
That impacted his team. Slotter's come in and they're right up to those levels again. And I just like the control they have in a lot of games. And I see a few Liverpool fans say, see, this is what I mean. You got like man like 16. It says Terry is such a fraud. Stop gaslighting us. We've got to stop using the word gaslighting in this context.
16 out of 10.
Gaslighting isn't me giving an opinion that you disagree with. That is not what it's what an abuser does to convince an abusee that they're not being abused. Unless you think me saying Liverpool are really good at the moment is abuse, can we stop using the word gaslighting, my friend? Plus, just because you hate your own football club doesn't mean I'm a fraud for saying I think you're pretty good and you could win the league this season. It's a very weird response to have.
3 minutes ago, Mr. 16 out of 10 was in the comments saying Alisson injury doesn't matter because Kelleher's better anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit of a. Ever since he got rejected by those 2 young ladies that he praised, he's acted like a bit of a weirdo online. He has. I've never seen 2 women be so disgusted with a compliment in my life. But don't take it out on the rest of us, my friend.
That's great. I'm actually convinced it's a gimmick. Like it has to be a gimmick. You can't think all of that stuff.
Some of the stuff he said to me, he's hated McAllister from the minute we signed him.
That's weird.
Regardless of when he does anything good, he hates him. I'm 99% sure at one point last season he wants us to sell Salah because he's finished.
Well, I mean, I genuinely mean this in the context word. The word gaslighting or gaslit. It's been overused. It's becoming a word that's losing its meaning. Genuinely, it's anyone now who gives an opinion that somebody else doesn't agree with, they say it's gaslighting. It's like that's not really what it means. It's ridiculous. But there we go. Happy birthday, Tom.
We're doing it. Yes, you're a week out, Hassan. Well done.
What's your birthday? I see you had a little shave as well, Tom. It's good.
Happy birthday, mate.
Much smarter. Did you see your girlfriend?
I did.
Wait.
Now we always ask about Tom's girlfriend because he was with us for like a month in Germany, and he never texted or spoke to her once in the whole month. We were all very confused about the relationship. We got towards the end of our trip to Germany. We were like, "Do you think she's real, guys, or did you just got a picture with a girl from a night out and just said it's like didn't ring her once? Everybody else spoke to their other halves. This man didn't chat once to her the whole month. It was he thought it was a fake relationship. But yeah, we'd like to check in. We'd like to check in there."